Recently exposed FEC records show that an alleged Russian agent operating for political influence inside of the US, in the end donated to only one campaign for president in the 2020 election, that is Tulsi Gabbard, with some interesting wrinkles that we're gonna get into. So this agent is a dual Russian-American national, Elena Branson. She stands accused of illegally pushing pro-Russian policies in the US for nearly a decade at the direction of top Kremlin officials without registering under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. Like, you could do that, but you do have to actually register. It makes it a little bit easier to understand where you're coming from, which is why many have not. This is not the only agent who has operated, and not just for Russia, but understand that. Now, her work, the complaint about her said her work on behalf of the Russian government, including arranged meetings for herself and other Russian officials with US government officials and executives at businesses based in the US. Authorities say that she received funding and direction from the Russian government, including the country's embassy in Washington, and received tasks from high-level Russian government officials and government-run organizations. Now, as we said, one donation in 2020, it was to Tulsi Gabbard, but with the potentially interesting and important caveat that it was for $60. And not even in one $60 lump. I mean, you can see there it comes across in two separate, $50 and $10. Why?
Yeah.
What, like, if the goal is influence, based on my experience of donations, that doesn't buy you much directly. So
yeah.
So why?
I have a theory. So first, those are the facts. When we get into theories, of course, it's by definition a little bit of speculation, right? So we're always clear about that. Now, it's so curious why anybody reading the story has to think, why $49.95 and $10? What the hell? Like, that's not gonna matter at all. So there's a bunch of other possibilities. So one is that it's a signal. When she donates, it signals others to donate, right? Because otherwise, why give a comically low number? And did Tulsi get donations from other people that are known not as Russian spies, but decidedly pro-Russian in their commentary publicly, etc.? Yes, she did. She got thousands from them, okay? But even so, it wasn't a spectacular number. So then you have to wonder, and look, Tulsi now is pretty much given up the game. Like, before, there was a lot of subterfuge. There was, oh, I'm a progressive, but God, if you're killing Muslims in Syria, I'm kind of here for it, right? And we were like, whoa, she likes the torture, she likes the drone bombs and the special forces and anything where you attack Muslims, she's totally in. So there was warning signs. We picked up on those warning signs. We were the first to tell you about it. Now she's at the point where she's just like, I can't believe what the Ukrainians are doing to poor Putin, right? So there's no subtlety left anymore at all. And anyone who isn't brain dead knows that she's obviously partial to Putin's government. So $60 isn't what led to that. And so I don't know if there was dark money. I don't know in terms of her campaigns. I don't know if there's just flat out money. Now, the money we do know about, it comes through some legitimate, quote unquote, legitimate sources, as in it's not illegal. Like, so when she goes on Tucker Carlson and says, oh, my daddy Putin is just the best of the best, and Tucker Carlson agrees, oh, yeah, high five on Putin. Then she gets a lot of right-wing grassroots donors to her different ventures that she's doing on right-wing websites, right? So that's a lot of people play that game, the Jimmy Dores, the gray zones, etc. And they're getting presumably organic money from right-wingers for liking Putin so much. But this was during when she was in office. Man, this part I don't know at all. But if there was, somebody should keep digging, because there could be more money that we're not seeing, because Tulsi and the others are not a little like, oh, well, you know what? NATO expansion was too much. That's a legitimate point, right? Oh, I don't know that we should have pushed so hard in before the war. No, Zelensky said we don't have to be in NATO. He basically conceded in that regard, and it was right too. I think it was content-wise, substantively it was right, strategically it was right. But at that point, there was no reason for Putin to go in, and he went in anyway. He clearly had planned to do this invasion all along. Those facts are not in dispute. And the Tulsis of the world are like, no. I think the Ukrainians made him do it, and America made him do it. Putin's, that's so not subtle that it's impossible not to inquire further into what in the world would make you say such outrageous and patently false things.
First of all, I have to say it's not $60, it's $59.95. Let's get it.
News.
Let's get it.
We're
clear.
Hashtag news right there.
$59.95. And I love that you're saying that the $59.95 is a signal because it's like, psst, $59.95. that way. Which I think is kind of cute. Like, hey everybody, $59.95 to this woman here. And then everyone's like, oh, where's my checkbook? Where's my checkbook?
Yeah. Actually, like I said, by the way, on that part is it being a signal, speculation. I don't know what is $49.95. Is $49.95 a different signal and $10 is another signal? Like $10 says go all in, or nah, not so much. We're putting on the brakes. I don't know, right?
$10 is that no, I'm serious. Anyway,
but seriously, the reason why I say that is because I want people not to get colored by what she's saying now. She's now an obvious propagandist for the Russians, but back then it was not obvious, and that's why it might have required a signal. But I don't know that $49.95 was it.
Devil's advocate, to be Buzz Killington, what if you were this unregistered Russian agent and you were just watching the election go? If you were gonna donate, who would you donate to?
Yeah, oh, totally. And by the way, that is very possible that there's no coordination, etc. Except there's one huge caveat there, okay? So in a normal situation, yeah, she might have been like, oh man, she's weirdly pro-Russian. I'm gonna give her money, right? And Russian spies don't pay that well, so she only had $60. I don't know, that's possible. Totally possible. We're giving you the facts and we're telling you what are the other possibilities as to why this happened, right? And so, but the caveat to that though is, it looks like this one is, there's talk of Representative 1 in some legal documents. So it doesn't say Tulsi Gabbard, but this park was in Tulsi's district in Hawaii, and they were gonna rename it park there. It had some Russian name, and so this Russian spy jumped into that Russian Fort Elizabeth, right, is what it's called. And apparently the Russians care about parks in Hawaii, so this literal Russian spy got involved and tried to make sure they didn't rename it, and was working with a Representative 1 that is still unidentified in the, that's according to an FBI agent's sworn statements. So it is possible that that a certain representative from Hawaii was working with her in that regard, but ain't no politician, no matter how craven, that's gonna say, oh, I'm gonna work with a Russian spy on a park for $60. Okay.
That's a weird Mad Libs.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I speculate maybe the $60 is the tip of the iceberg, and we haven't found the iceberg yet.
I was about to get really excited, like, oh, I'd like to name a park. I got $59.95.
Could you imagine?
Where's my credit card?
So, but that's what leads to speculation, because even politicians aren't that cheap. Right? I'd like to rename it the Cenk Uygur Park. You got $59.95 on you? With Tulsi, maybe, but I doubt it.
I did, however, just get a text from Michael. You can basically buy him out for $59.95 if you want. He'll name parks for you. He'll name mountains. He'll name pretty much anything. $59.95.
All right. So either way, guys, one last thing. It doesn't really matter, okay? I mean, look, if they find actual illicit money, that would matter, okay? But for now, proof's in the pudding. So she's advocating for Putin basically out in the open. So her proclivities are obvious, no matter what the reason for them is.
Yeah.
But if I was the FBI, I'd keep digging. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.